It's time on the Master this afternoon to check in with the team from Crowhorth, but we're not actually going to Crowhorth this week. We're going to Copeland Ashcroft Law. We are talking with Charlie Harris. Hey, Charlie, great to have you on the program. Great to talk to your team. Obviously, you guys have a close association with Crowhorth, and we're going to put a bit of a legal spin on perhaps some of the topics we've discussed over the last few weeks with Crowhorth.
Great.
Hey, first of all, how's things on up the road in Queenstown? Obviously, here in Southland, things have heated up over the last few days. But I tell you what, torrential rain this morning.
Yep, I'm looking out my office window right now, and it's torrential rain, but the veggie garden was looking pretty sad last night, so it's probably a good thing for a couple of days max.
Hey, let's speak about getting a bit of gardening done, because over the next few weeks, as we get over Christmas, New Year, all of that sort of carry on, there'll be people getting a few days off work, and perhaps that's how they might be spending some of their time. Who knows? And today we're going to focus around employment issues and what employees are entitled to, and perhaps what employers are responsible for. I guess we should kick off with the basics in terms of the employee entitlements over the holiday period, especially when it relates to ag.
Yep. Well, there's 4 public holidays coming up this festive season. That's Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Day, and the 2nd of January. And it's a bit of a minefield for the rural sector, because the majority of employees are working according to a roster. So fundamentally, if an employee works on a public holiday, they're entitled to be paid time and a half for all the hours that they actually work on this day. So to be really clear on this, if the employee only does the milkings on Christmas Day, for example, they'll be paid time and a half for those 6 or 7 hours that they actually work, not that usual 10 to 12 hours. And same goes if you're a sheep farmer and you have an employee shifting the brakes maybe for an hour, then they're paid time and a half for that hour. But then they'll also be entitled to a full alternative holiday, or what's known as a day in lieu, if the public holiday falls on an ordinary working day. And if it's not an ordinary working day for the employee, then they won't receive that entitlement. So for someone like me, it's quite clear. I'm a Monday to Friday working girl, and for employees working according to a roster system, it can be quite difficult to determine what is actually an ordinary working day. So I'll talk about Christmas Day, which is a few weeks away, which actually falls on a Friday this year. So if an employee is working, let's say, an 11 on, 3 off roster, and has worked 4 out of the 5 Fridays prior to that Christmas Day, then it's likely that that Christmas Day would be considered an ordinary working day for that employee. So me, it's quite clear, Friday is definitely an ordinary working day for me.
Yeah, obviously a wee bit of juggling there, but obviously with the rosters, I guess, set up, we can, I guess, take... there's a record there of what should happen, and perhaps people can get on top of things. I guess what's going to further perhaps complicate things, although perhaps it might actually make things a wee bit more simple, is this moving to Mondays with some of the public holidays that are taken. I guess that's going to throw a bit of a spanner in the works initially.
Yeah, so Boxing Day and the 2nd of January do actually fall on a Saturday this year. And we'll go with the 11 on, 3 off roster example again. If the employee is rostered to work this Saturday, then that public holiday should be observed as falling on that day. However, if the Saturday is a rostered day off, then the public holiday should be observed and treated as falling on the following Monday.
What's the story in terms of casual employees? I know this can get a wee bit messy, and I guess casual, part-time, whatever you want to call them. Let's clear out their entitlements and what we need to be aware of there.
Yeah, well, often at this time of year, we do have a lot of casual staff helping us out. Relief milkers are a prime example. So if a relief milker works on a public holiday, then they'll be entitled to be paid that time and a half for all the hours that they work, but they won't actually receive that day in lieu, because a true casual employee, actually, they don't have any ordinary working days or any set patterns of work, because they're called in as and when required. So make sure that they're being paid time and a half for the hours that they work.
Now, in terms of annual leave, just to throw a further spanner in the works and get everyone right on their toes, I guess it's better to be prepared than get to Christmas Day and wonder what the story is. Annual leave obviously is going to be another element people need to consider when this day's off over public holidays and over the holiday season.
so we're all entitled to a minimum of 4 annual weeks holidays after working for an employer for 12 months. And it's the holidays actually talks in weeks and not days. So that's great, once again, for someone like me. Monday to Friday, my 4 weeks is 20 days. Whereas an employee working towards on a roster, and they don't often have those set days of work, so we'll go with the 11-3 roster example again. In practical terms, their 4 weeks actually equates to 22 days annual leave. So really the focus should be around balancing the employee's request for time off over the summer season or the peak season. And we would recommend that you let employees know in advance if there are any dates that they can't take leave. Make sure you've got some clear processes in place for employees to follow when making those leave requests. And if you are going to refuse a leave request, which of course you can do, just make sure you've got some good reasons as to why you are withholding that consent, because you can't unreasonably withhold it.
Yeah. Charlie Arms-Harris, really appreciate your time on the program this afternoon. We've waded through what is a tricky subject, and hopefully we've shed a wee bit of light on well, you have shed a bit of light on what people need to be responsible for in terms of employees and employers over the next few weeks. Let's hope we get it right. We've given it our best shot today, I know that much.
Yeah, great. Have a great Christmas, Jonny.
You too.